company is Orbit Shifters. So now here we are going to interact with a person called as Mahesh Kumar sir. So Mahesh Kumar CB is a co-founder and chief AI officer at Orbit Shifters. He has been in analytics more than 18 years experience in the software industry. He is one of the few futuristic thinkers in this space and has helped many organizations in defining the vision for their product monetization programs. Prior to founding Orbit Shifters, he worked with the Dalmia Bharat Group, IBM, Computer Science Corporation, Mindtree, and Rolta organizations in analytics and big data science. So he was mentor for the chain NITI IO. Mahesh is recipient of Best COO by Evolvex at IIT Hyderabad at 2019, featured in SAP TV and featured several artificial intelligence interviews in Inadu Television. IMDA approved data science and machine learning trainer at Singapore, trained more than 15,000 plus resources in SAP Analytics, Big Data, and Artificial Intelligence. So Orbit Shifters shortlisted as the most promising top 20 artificial intelligence startups in India by Cloreview India. Now we are very happy to have you here, sir. Hope these are the first batch with the CSC data science and artificial intelligence as a branch introduced in JNTU Hyderabad. So they'll be having many doubts. Anyway, we are tied up with each other, CMR Technical Campus with Orbit Shifters. Hope anyway in future all you will be staying and connecting with these people. Hope they will answer, they will ask many questions. Hope you will answer all of them and have a wonderful session ahead, sir. It's over to you.
Thank you, Vara. Thanks for the warm welcome. Uh, Guys, I would like to say a big congratulations for choosing BTech in AI and ML, and especially with the CMR Tech Campus. One of the beautiful campuses, if you look at in and around Hyderabad with the big infrastructure. And I'm not sure how many people you know that we sometime back we started AI and IoT Center of Excellency, which is for the first time in Telangana state. So that is exclusively for you. That would become your playground once you are comfortable with AI concepts. So that will become your playground. Whatever the ideas you have, where you want to build some kind of a products and you want to build some kind of a solutions. So that's where the platform for you with support of mentors like us. Guys, can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Perfect. Okay, so the today's session, we're going to see role of artificial intelligence in business. So before that, I would like to start with one general saying. If you want to command a multi-year seven-figure salary, you used to have only four career options, where the one would be chief executive officer, then banker, then celebrity entertainer, or a pro athlete. I'm sure everybody know about IPL, all this stuff, where people are earning 5, 6 digits, more than that. Now there is a fifth, which is artificial intelligence expert. So today I just grouped some of the important concepts which you should know this. 6 AI applications that you use probably every day. And what do you mean by VUCA world? We call it as a VUCA world. And we are going to demystify AI-powered business models. That means how people are using artificial intelligence for their businesses. And we are going to touch base with AI job marketplace. And then we are going to see the 100 plus new job roles created by AI. And then finally, we'll end up with how do you get started your AI journey? This very common question everyone will have in their own mind, right? So we are going to answer all this, and we'll have a specific time for your Q&A. Okay, so let's rock and roll. 6 AI applications that you probably use every day. So let's talk about a Gmail. Often, if you see, whenever you open your inbox, automatically the mails has been classified without your knowledge. If you see that one of your friend has tweaked in a Facebook or Twitter something, that notification comes and sit under social. if anything related, a mail related to promotions, that email comes and sits under promotion. So only the primary emails will come here and sit here. So we are not classifying, this mail has to come under the primary bucket, this email has to come social, this email has to sit under promotions, right? So automatically, if you look at, there is a smart agent at the background who is doing everything for us. Do you think that is a smart agent? Now, similarly, whether you go to any e-commerce portal, whether it's Amazon, Flipkart, eBay, whatever, when you're trying to buy something, you will get all the details about the product, the customer ratings, reviews, all that stuff. And apart from that, when you're trying to buy a cap, the relevantly, it is going to recommend you some other products with all the details. Again, don't you think that again there is a smart agent at a background who is helping all everything for us? Now, one of the best example is Google Map. I'm sure people are using Google Map every day. Now, when you're trying to move from your CMR technical campus to high tech city, now let's say instead of Gate Forum, we'll replace here CMR Tech Campus to high tech city. Now, in a real time, you are going to get how much time you are going to take, what is the distance between your campus to high tech city, and you will get all the options. In a real time, when you are moving, it will notify you what is the time left, everything in detail. Now, let's say if there is a huge traffic, and even it will recommend you to reach other way. Now, even when you are trying to book a cab, whether it's a Ola, Uber, irrespective, when you book a cab, before that you came to know that what will be the price and what will be the who will be the driver. When you book a cab, then automatically you will get a message in your app. You can see that very clearly. This is the driver, this is the car, and he is going to reach in this minutes. So don't you think that there is a smart agent at the background, everything he is helping for us? Now, one of the other crazy thing nowadays, the fancy toys we call is voice assistants. Might be Alexa, Siri, Google Now, Cortana. How come it will understand our language and its response? Right? When you say, "Hey Alexa, play that song," it will play. When you ask a question, it responds. So nowadays, this kids are very emotionally connected to this voice assistant. My kid is around 8 years, 9 years now. In the morning, whenever he wake up, he never say good morning, dad. He used to say, "Hey, good morning, Alexa. What is the time now? Or what is the weather today?" Based on that, he will decide whether to carry an umbrella or not. Now, apart from that, if you look at whether your institution, if you go to any shopping mall, we are under surveillance, right? How about taking that video as an input data and you can do a lot of wonders? This is the huge opportunity, especially with using AI. Now, let's say there is some suspicious movement. One of the thief entered into your campus, and when you look up, his his behavior and his postures and gestures are not normal. It would be very abnormal, right? And you want to understand the crowd analytics, and you want to understand whether there is a fire or not, so that you'll get some alarm. It goes to the decision maker, so that they will act immediately. So these kind of things are already we are using AI. So with all, this is the huge space. If you are looking at to potentially leverage artificial intelligence, video analytics is the best, and which is hot cake in the market now. Now, if you look at all the 6 examples, what we saw, there is a common to all the game-changing solutions. What is that? I guess you can type in the chat room if you want. One thing is a common, whatever we spoke, all the 6 examples. Maybe you can just type in the chat room. At the core, there is a deep embedded data product inside. Whether you take YouTube, whether you take Google Map, whether you take Uber, Ola app, at the end, it's all data product which are created by using artificial intelligence. So AI is nothing but mimicking human intelligence. So humans are known for the intelligence, right? Where the machines, they don't have by default intelligence. We are going to write some kind of a programs by mimicking our intelligence. That's what intelligence exhibited by machines. So sometimes you will have a sense, sometimes you will have a response. So sometimes you will have a both, sometimes you will have only sense, sometimes you will have a response. Now, when you are trying to interact with Alexa, you are asking a question and it is responding. So you have a sense and respond both. In general, when you talk about artificial intelligence, it's broadly three types. What we call is ANI, artificial narrow intelligence, which is specialized in one specific area. For example, playing a chess game, riding a bicycle, driving a car. These are specific to one job. In this area, AI is pretty strong and it is pretty mature. So now we are here where all the research and deployments are at this stage, what we call is the AGI, artificial general intelligence. When AI start behaving in terms of the intelligence equal to the humans, then that is called AGI. Let me give you one example. Humans are very faster at adaptation, right? Where I can drive a four-wheeler in India. Similarly, I can drive in US, in Middle East as well. Now, let's say you have one vehicle which is built using artificial intelligence, what we call in other languages is autonomous vehicles, driverless vehicles. Now, when a solution is built for US region, you can bring that car in India. When you're trying to run, it never, because the steering will be changed and the rules are completely changed. So that's where when that will happen, that is called human level AI. In other words, AGI, artificial general intelligence. When you say the third category, which is ASI, artificial superintelligence, when machines start behaving smarter than humans in all the perspectives. So the best example would be, I'm sure everyone in the room here watched this movie, Robo or 2.0. Take example of a chitti. The way how chitti is smarter than a humans. They do a lot of things, right? So that's when that is possible, that is called artificial super intelligence. Don't worry, it is going to take another at least 40, 50 years. So we are here now. Now, this is one of the important aspect you need to understand. So here there is a graph between 1900 years to 2010, and here there is a percentage of adoption of the users, 0 to 100%. And you have all the gadgets like a telephone, TV, video game, electricity, cars, radio, credit card, internet, smartphone, blah, blah, blah. Now, if you take one of the aspect which impacted humans heavily is electricity, which to reach 100% adoption, it took more than 100 years. Though we are taking example for US, and other few things which took less than 20 years, 30 years, probably 40 years, right? So now we are talking about the fourth industrialization. Now just imagine, what if there is no electricity for humans? Just imagine, what if you don't have an internet? What if you don't have a smart TV? What if you don't have a smartphone? Just reimagine the future. Now, the world, what we live is called exponentially. We call it as a VUCA, VUCA. V as a volatile, U as a uncertainty, C as a complex, A as a ambiguous. So outside world, if you look at, it's exponentially changing. Let me give you a few of the examples. In the just 10 years, both the cameraman and the pilot lost their jobs. If you, for example, if you want to take some kind of a aerial footage where you need to have one kind of a cameraman with a pilot and sitting in the helicopter or a chopper, he used to capture. Now this one is completely replaced with a drone. You don't require even a driver there. Now take one more example. I'm not sure how many people know this. There is a restaurant in Hyderabad which, whenever you order a food, it's not served by humans, where the robots are going to serve you. It's called Robo Kitchen in Jubilee Hills. There are around four robots are there. That means essentially going forward slowly, it is going to replace bar attendants, right? This is what I'm talking about. See, whenever you are trying to drive a car where you need a driver, now it is going to replace with self-driving cars. Now, even can you imagine the anchors are going to replace by AI anchors? So China and Korea and even there is one more country. They already introduced it, AI anchor. Now, if you see here, the right hand side, it's the first anchor, AI anchor, female anchor in the world, Zin Xiaomen. Can you see on the right hand side? And how about imagine experience when you are whenever you have some problem with your product or a banking specific to any query, you used to call to your customer care and the conversation used to go to 6 to 8 minutes. Now just reimagine with a one question in a seconds you are going to get all that, which is nothing but we call as a chatbot. Now can you imagine going forward the AI pilots are going to sorry human pilots are going to replace by AI pilots. How about getting into a shop or a shopping mall? Once you're done with all your shopping, there is no need to stand in the queue to pay bill. Automatically, the bill will be created and it will be deducted from your account. That's what we call cashierless stores. And AI can detect more than 50 eye diseases. That means going forward, you don't even require ophthalmologist. And how about having a kind of experience once you get into a company or some shopping mall where the receptionist would be a robot, and that's called Mitri. That's India's first receptionist robot. It's from Bangalore. So this is what we call the world. What we live is VUCA. We use CA. V as a volatile, U as uncertainty, C as a complex, E as ambiguous. So disruption is everywhere, whether you say politics, technology, economy. Now, just quickly, I want to run a video where quickly you can see how the world is changing, and it will be a small 2 minutes video. I want you to just focus on this. So just try to focus on this video. Let's quickly unfold the future for the next 9 years, how the world looks like. Sir, can you confirm? Video is visible?
Yes, sir, visible.
Okay, perfect. This is very important. Try to read it. So is it scary? Guys, as the session is it's online, so I want you to, whenever I ask something, just try to type something here. Yeah, I can see some of the messages here. Crazy, yes sir. Okay, good. Okay, good. Srinivas, no, it's not. Oh, is it? Okay, it's not scary. I'll tell you. I'll answer this. Who said crazy? Scary. Rohan Patel. So it's not as scary. So let me tell you, going forward, there will be two types of humans. One is AI powered humans, the other one is non AI powered humans. That means, so learn AI and start challenging AI so that you will be this side. If you are not reskilled or updated with the AI, you will be opposite to that side and you will be absorbed or vanished by AI. Simple. Okay, so now we unfold the future, how it looks like next coming 9 years, right? Okay, now just reimagine how it looks like another 20 years, the world, according to the Pentagon. Okay, so don't worry, it's not scary. I'm just trying to say that disruption is everywhere. So where people are coming up with new mindsets and just disrupting the market. Now let's quickly see how AI is disrupting the market or various businesses and how people are using artificial intelligence for their businesses. Now we are going to demystify AI powered business models. Now this is one of the crazy examples I can say. We know that whenever we enter into a theater or a comedy club, as an entry, we need to pay certain amount as a entry ticket, right? Now these guys has come up with a model called pay per laugh. That means how many times you are going to laugh, you need to pay for that. If you are not laughing, there is no need to pay. So each laugh will cost you 0.30 cents, and the excuse me, the maximum ticket cost would be $24. Now, if you see on the right hand side, it's the seat numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and if you take seat number 1, add up 40 laughs, for which you need to pay $12. Now these guys are crazy. Even they introduced pay per cry. You just imagine, for crying also you need to pay money. So whenever you get into the theater, so in front of your seat there will be other seat, right? So to that there will be a camera attached, and whenever you laugh, it will take that clip and there is a count started for you. So using computer vision is one of the aspect, one of the elements in AI, which captured your emotion and it start taking. So this is called pay per laugh. It's one of the comedy club in Australia. They introduced this model around 3 years back. Now, I'm sure everybody know about Amazon or especially Amazon. Whenever you want to buy something, you will get into a website and pick what are the products, add to cart, then finally check out, and after some days, you will get your parcel. Now, just reimagine experience. You not ordered anything without your knowledge. A box will come. Pick what are the products you want. Remaining, leave it. It's reverse logistic at free of cost. That means Amazon has collected huge amount of data about a consumer where they can predict what are you going to buy, what are you not going to buy. Based on that recommendation, you will get a parcel. Now just imagine every month you will get a box without your knowledge. Pick what are the products you want, pay for that, remaining leave it. That's called shop then ship to ship then shop. So it's around 4 years back, Amazon developed a model using AI that's called the anticipatory shipping model, and they applied patent around 5 years back. Even if you go to USPTO, you can see all these details. Now, this example is from our backyard, Bengaluru. His name is Sadhna sir, 14 years kid who is the co-founder of Ati Labs, ATI, Ati Labs, and he's trying to build autonomous electric cargo vehicle. So while when Saad is going to school, he observed a problem. In the morning, whenever if we see, he stays in a place called Malleshwaram. So Malleshwaram is famous for markets, where you have a vegetable market, you have a flower market. So a lot of people, the grocery wala, all the shop people in the morning, they used to buy and the huge luggage, they used to keep on two-wheeler, they used to go. That problem Nasser identified what if there is some accident met with this guy, what happened? So that's why he is trying to solve. Can you see there is a small vehicle here, which is autonomous. So this was the almost 2 years back photo, which is a prototype. Maybe just if you type in a YouTube, you'll get the prototype, which is alive now, where you can dump what are the products, what are the groceries, what are the vegetables or flowers you uh, took from the market, and just pump here or dump here and type the location. So without driver, it will drop there. That's what he is trying to build, an electric autonomous cargo vehicle. Now this example is again from our India. So HDFC is the first bank to introduce the first chatbot for banking solutions. You just take some 3 years or even a few banks, still it's the traditional conversation. Whenever you have some problem with your bank where you need to dial up that customer care, you used to enter your account number, or you need to answer some of the security questions, and then they used to tell one dabaye, three dabaye, four dabaye, right? So where the conversation is to go 6 to 8 minutes a minimum. Now just reimagine with the bot, just type the query which you want to ask and type a question, instantly you will get. So some thousands of people where they used to work as a customer care, now it is entirely replaced with one bot. So HDFC Bank is the first bank in India to introduce EVA as India's first AI-powered banking chatbot. Now this is a crazy. I'm sure everybody know about Wonderla. So even we have in India somewhere outer ring road. So they introduced a robot employee for Kochi especially. Now, whenever you got struck with some kind of a question where you can interact and you can ask a robot, and it is going to respond to you in a local language. Now, let's say you want to understand the upcoming ride for a giant wheel or something, then you can ask to Lisa. Lisa will respond in your local language. If you are not able to understand the language, it will show you in on the screen. Now, we spoke a lot about autonomous driving, right? So if you look at the autonomous driving technology, so only few players, I can say not even 10% players are with automotive background. If you say Toyota, Audi, BMW, Tesla, Honda, Ford, GM, Volvo, Nissan, Hyundai, Kia, all these people are in the past, now even they are producing cars, four-wheelers, SUVs, blah, blah, blah. But if you take the remaining players, They never had any experience with a automotive background. They never created, they never produced any, not even a single car. But still, if you look at the remaining players, all are from technology background. Few are only for the data processing, few are only for the sensors, few are only for the connectivity, few are for mapping, few are for security. See that. We are talking about a baby, which it's not even born, and see the players, the non-automotive players. Now, I'm sure a lot of people in the room very often used to watch cricket. Even now, also, there is a match running on, and I'm sure as you're attending the session in between, you used to watch the score in online, right? Now, whenever you have a doubt about the decision given by umpire, then automatically the teams will opt for a DRS, right? Decision review system. Now, if you look at this, the entire thing is happening using artificial intelligence. It's again computer vision. So the first check would be whether the ball is pitching in the inline or not. Once that is done, then they will check whether the ball is having a contact with the bat or not, and then they will see the impact, then whether the ball is hitting on the line. Based on these three parameters, they should take a decision. This entire thing is happening using AI. It's technology called Hawkeye, the company who introduced this to ICICI in a cricket. Similarly, the Ultra Edge, whenever there is a connect with the bat, with the ball, that lines will come. It's sensing again, where they used to have some kind of a sensor near to the wickets, not in the bat or not in the ball. The sensor used to keep near to wickets. So essentially, it sends when there is a connect with the bat, it sends and it gives lines this. Based on this, the umpire will identify as there is a connect. If there is a normal lines, there is no connect with the bat. Now, this example is from Silicon Valley. His name is Abu Khader, around 18 years kid, and who is a co-founder and the chief technical officer of Glia Lab. He is trying to solve one of the biggest problem in the world. He developed with his team, he developed a product where it can detect breast cancer for all age groups at a most early stage. When you compare to the famous oncologist, when I say oncologist, the person, the doctor who treats for cancer. So this product is accuracy is more than 90%. Just imagine a 18 years kid who is not even completed a graduation, he's trying to solve one of the biggest problem in the world. Now, as I said, cashierless stores. So Amazon Go is the first one. Now, similarly, it replaced it, the same model has replaced it in India, and this is called Vata Sale. Neither this is not from Bengaluru, nor Mumbai, nor Hyderabad. Can you believe this is from Kochi? It's not only India's first autonomous cashierless store, it should be Asia's first autonomous cashierless store. Maybe somewhere at the end of the session, I'll play Amazon Go video. You will understand what you mean by autonomous cashierless store. And this is just try to note this word, affectiva. So we know humans always can detect or identify the other human emotions, right? If you are very sad, immediately your friends say, or he will say, hey, what happened? Why are you not happy? All right. Now just imagine once you install this app and just try to keep that app camera in front of your face and just give some emotion, it is going to rate your emotion. If you are happy, what is that percentage in a real time? If you are sad, what is that emotion? It is going to rate you around 16 of your human emotions. So it's seriously a crazy thing. Just try to install in your. I'm sure a lot of people are using smart apps, smart mobiles. Just note this word. Go to Play Store, install not now after the session or whenever you have time. Just play around with that. And this example is from again our Bengaluru. It's called Tombow imaging. So what are the US Army they're using this instrument apart from that helmet? Can you see there is a small instrument here where the US Army is used it very often now. So this Bangalore startup, Tombow Imaging, is the first in the world to give this. and it's the India's device which is the most advanced tactical imaging system in the world, whether it's a daytime or nighttime. Even now it is a part of even Rafale advanced defense system as well. Tanbo imaging. And apart from that, if you see in a tennis, usually you used to have some boys or girls to collect that balls, right? Now just reimagine experience where you have some kind of a robotic tennis ball collector. So automatically there is a ball, when players are not playing, it goes and it collects that ball. So these disruptions are happening in India too, not only outside the world. Already we saw 2 or 3 examples. Now apart from that, let's quickly see Scalar Drones, Autoflex, Nirmai, and NemoCare. Scalar drones are the first company to introduce drone-based solutions where you can have whether irrespective of the industry you have, it can detect and the pipeline inspections, any abnormality or something. And Flex Auto is the self-driving technology for trucks. It's not a car or something. So I'm sure you know about the Easter, right? The big containers, the trucks. So it's already live. They're testing right now. If you look at Bengaluru outer ring roads, very often you will see without a driver where the a big container is driving itself. So that's Flex Auto. It's live now, but still they are not started commercially, but they are testing at this point of time. Now this is again from Bengaluru, Nirmai, a phone-based breast cancer detector. You just imagine when you want to understand whether the person is having a cancer or not, and especially breast cancer, that diagnosis will take minimum 2 months to 3 months time. Now that they want to cut it down to with a small kind of a instrument where with a phone based you can detect whether the people is having a cancer or not, and they want to scale it with a very nominal cost, probably 2K or 3K in that. And recently they got some grant from even Google as well. Dr. Sunita, not Sunita, sorry, I forgot the founder of Dr. Geeta. Dr. Geeta is one of the founder of this Nirmai, and she is not at all from a technical background. Just imagine, she is trying to solve one of the biggest problem in the world. And this example is from our backyard, Hyderabad. It's called Nemo. Whenever you have a born babies, they have some kind of breathing problem, what we call in medical terms, apnea and hypothermia. Now just imagine when they have some that breathing problem, when there is no nearby nurse or a doctor is available, this instrument will give you a signal and it responds and sorry, it alerts the doctor or a nurse. So if you look at all those previous, the 10, 12 examples, somewhere all the new business models will be defined at the intersection of AI with some emerging tech. So in general, if you look at AI is the core, the algorithm, and we call it as exponential technologies. So remaining technologies all will become infrastructure or a hardware, whether you say IoT, Internet of Things, or whether you say drones, whether you say 3D printing, whether you say augmented reality, virtual reality, robotics, blockchain. All this will become your hardware or infrastructure, and AI will become your core algo, the algorithm or a software. So we need to rewire our mindset and we need to change the operating system in the head. Maybe in Windows, in a system you are using Windows 10, but if you look at the operating system, what we are using in the mind is old, probably a Windows 95 or 98. I'm not sure how many people know about Windows 98, 95. Those are the older version of operating systems. How come a 14 years kid is trying to build autonomous cargo vehicle and 18 years kid is trying to build a product which can detect the breast cancer at the most early state? How come they are able to do and we are not able to do? Do they have a huge knowledge? Come on, we are talking about a 14 years kid or 18 years kid. What kind of knowledge they will have? Are they have a huge money? No. Few guys are from middle class families. Do they have a huge networks? No. Then what they have? So it's called mental habits. What is that? Mental habits. So apart from the technology, the technical thing, you need to adapt this new mindsets. This is where with the new mindsets, people are disrupting the market very heavily. So the one of the important mindset which we need to adapt is we call it as a moonshots. That means think 10x times, not 10%. Let me give you an example. So this example is from again India. It's called Arvindaya Hospital. So initially they kept themselves as a challenge where they want to build some kind of a solution for the blind people. Around 35 million at a globe level with some kind of a surgeries or some small cataract operations, they can get their eyes back. And they ideally having 10 million doctors or ophthalmologists to treat 35 million is not possible, right? So that's where they inspired from a STD booth or Xerox. If you look at STD booth and Xerox, the beauty of this thing is it won't take much time to operate those two things, right? People will just buy in 1 or 2 days, they will learn, and then automatically they will Xerox. They used to, I'm not sure, because we are from that generation, I'm not sure whether you guys saw that STD booths having, where we used to get into that time, we used to dial a number those days. So they drawn inspiration from that and they build a software based a product, which is if you look at this lady is not a ophthalmologist, but she is doing and treating a patient, right? So this is AI powered hardware. So Arvind Aya Hospital is one of the. It's not a clinic or a commercial clinic, but they used to run as an NGO, and in average they used to do a minimum 20 to 30 lakhs eye cataract operations, which is one of the uh, huge number of operations they used to do at a global level. Even very often, they started from Madura. Now they're expanded to everywhere in India, some parts. Very often to do some kind of a research or a internship from Stanford, from Berkeley. People used to come and they used to do research here. The second mindset you need to adapt is mistake as a tool. That means whatever you do the mistakes in the beginning, do it fast and learn from that mistakes so that going forward you should avoid that. Let me give you one more example. If you see, there is a museum for failure innovation. I'm not sure how many people know Google Glass, which is a failed innovation. But in the beginning they felt, Google felt it is going to change the world, having a glass here, just but it's a failed innovation. So once you get inside into this museum, you will have what is the problem they're trying to solve, where it went fail, why it went fail. You'll get all the insight about that failed innovations. Third, this is very important mindset: curiosity for problem greater than passion for technology. That means you should always focus on the problem. Your curiosity should be more to try to solve the problem, not for the technology. So, in other words, what we call is business forward, technology backward. And the fourth one, you need to always ask the right question because the questions will remove fog for your problem statement. Let me give you one more example. So I'm sure everybody know about the Polaroid instant camera, right? So, yet powerful question that led to the creation of the Polaroid instant camera. The 4 years daughter of the founder of Polaroid, that baby, if she never asked a question, why do we have to wait for the picture? If you see, we used to have the cameras and inside the reel, and we used to have 36, 37 snaps. Once it is done, we'll remove that reel and we used to send it to the lab to wash and we'll get a printouts, right? So that was the one powerful question. Why do we have to wait for the picture, which is invented a Polaroid camera? Now, the other mindset is extreme empathy. That means you have to see the world through your consumer or user eyes. Now, let's say you are building product for healthcare. At the end of the day, when you create a product, it is going to be used by patients, right? So, can you see the world through their eyes from a patient perspective? So then only you'll understand their pain, the person who is experiencing the pain. Now, altogether, moonshots, mistakes, curiosity, question and answers, and empathy. So when you start adapting these mindsets, then automatically you're going to nourish the roots and fruits will follow. So let's talk about AI job marketplace now. So before moving to this, quickly I want to show you something. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Amazon Go.
4 years ago, we started to wonder, what would shopping look like if you could walk into a store, grab what you want, and just go? What if we could weave the most advanced machine learning, computer vision, and AI into the very fabric of a store, so you never have to wait in line? No lines, no checkouts, no registers. Welcome to Amazon Go. Use the Amazon Go app to enter. Then put away your phone and start shopping. It's really that simple. Take whatever you like. Anything you pick up is automatically added to your virtual cart. If you change your mind about that cupcake, just put it back. Our technology will update your virtual cart automatically. So how does it work? We used computer vision, deep learning algorithms, and sensor fusion, much like you'd find in self-driving cars. We call it Just Walk Out technology. Once you've got everything you want, you can just go. When you leave, our Just Walk Out technology adds up your virtual cart and charges your Amazon account. Your receipt is sent straight to the app, and you can keep going. Amazon Go. No lines, no checkout. No, seriously.
It's always started in US, two states. They already started shops in two of the states in United States of America. Now just imagine, now due to this pandemic, we are having your sessions, everything, education is become virtual. Now how about when you sit inside the class? So for every 30 seconds, you'll be monitored, whether you are concentrating on the class or whether you are completely diverted. So this is the solution which the intelligence classroom behavior, they introduced it in China. Just see that. How is it? You just imagine if this solution is implemented in all the colleges in India. I can say 50% people say no to college, right? Okay. Now let's move to other category, AI job marketplace. So as you know, AI professionals are in a heavy demand. You go to any job portal, whether it's Naukri, Monster, blah blah blah, any .com, meaning jobportal.com. Just type machine learning engineer, or a data scientist, or a deep learning engineer, or a computer vision engineer. You'll get huge number of opportunities. So the top 10 jobs involving AI skills, as I told you, machine learning engineer, deep learning engineer, senior data scientist, computer vision engineer, are very often we used to call this word as a data scientist, algorithm developer, junior data scientist, developer consultant. And this is once you get some good experience, then you will become the head of a data science team or a director of data science and lead data scientist. So these are the usually you will see the job roles. Now let's talk about his name is Tanmay Bakshi, the world's youngest IBM Watson programmer. So he started coding at the age of 9 years. He developed some of iOS apps as well. At the age of 12, now he's working with IBM. Sorry, Google. He's working with Google now. So 15 years old Tanmay Bakshi. Yeah, though he's Indian, but he's settled in Canada. And this example is from our backyard, Hyderabad. So his name is Siddharth Pillai, Siddharth Pillai, and he's studying a seventh standard. Sorry, now he's got into eighth. So 3 days he goes to school. 3 days he used to go to office. So he's the youngest data scientist in Asia. So he stays in our area. I'm one of the mentors for Siddharth. Maybe whenever there is a time, I'll get Siddharth for one of the session, technical session, not generic one. And this example is again from India. Just remember, a class 2 student enters a Guinness record as a youngest programmer. His name is Arham Taslania. He knows Python already. Can you believe? A class 2 student. And this example is from Singapore. His name is Seth E. At 8 years, he is the youngest code master in Singapore. He knows 3 programming languages. He knows about Arduino, JavaScript, and as well Python. He cleared even a few of the online examinations for Python. Now just imagine, because why I'm taking all these examples. Now I'm not sure how many people know this. CBSE has introduced AI at a class 6th level as a mandate, even in fact before that. But before that, it's not programming. At a class 1, class 2 level, you'll have just some kind of icebreakers, some kind of stories, AI stories. But from class 6 onwards, yes, there is a programming. So just imagine when the guy reaches class 8 or 9, he's going to challenge you. हाँ भाई आजा Python आएगा, computer science आएगा. Can you write a model in using machine learning? So this is what your competition is not going to with your colleague who is sitting next to you or your friend. You are going to compete with the young minds. So this is crazy news. 65% of students will work in a jobs that do not exist today. So initially this survey is done by Curve, and after that Microsoft has confirmed this. So that means, especially for you guys, the guys you are going to work on a jobs that still do not exist. Only probably a few people know about the job role designation. Still few are not known. This is the bad news. 50% of today's jobs will be replaced by artificial intelligence. You saw this in a UCA video, right? So this is a good news. Of course, there is a bad news as well. 2.3 million, the number of jobs AI is going to create by 2020. This means this year, and while eliminating 1.8 million, accounting a net of 2 million new jobs by 2025. That means 2.3 minus 1.8 plus 2, apparently 2.4 millions, which is not a small number, right? So if you look at these kind of things happened in the past also, but this time it's a more, not due to only AI, of course, automation, of course, robotics. Just imagine, just go back to those days whenever you want to do some bank transaction, you need to get into bank, you need to stand in the line, you need to do that. And all of a sudden you got ATM as a machine. And after a few years, you got digital banking. But still, we're able to survive, right? Similarly, when people used to do everything traditionally, slowly those jobs are replaced by a computer. So this has happened in the past multiple times. It's not just only this time, but this time the number of jobs are more, and it is impacting all the industries vertically, horizontally. So you take any world, any part of the world, any region, you have a huge opportunities for AI specifically. If you see, this is a number, the legend, O to 100, 100 to 500, 500 to 1K. So everywhere you have the US AI opportunities. And Google is to offer around a 25 million fund for research by schools or students. But the solution has to be a socially good. It has to impact the society for a social perspective, maybe for poor people that way. So apart from job, so when you are getting now you guys are first year, so somewhere maybe by end of first year or second year itself, you need to answer one first question, whether you want to become a job seeker or a job creator. When you say job creator, that's where you are going to start your startup. It's more into entrepreneurship where you are taking a risk. But this side, it is job seeker. So you have a limitless opportunities, especially if you look at using AI startup point of view. We got a lot of grants, a lot of encouragement from the government as well. Now let's talk about the new job roles created by AI. As I told you, there are 100 plus new job roles created by AI. So you saw that statement, right? 65% of students are going to work on a job that do not exist. So these are the kind of a new job roles which we never heard. I'm not sure how many people heard about this chief AI officer. Earlier it was not there. We have always CEO, CTO, CDO, CFO, that is Chief Finance Officer, Chief Executive Officer. Can you believe there is a minister for AI in United States, United Emirates, UAE? There is a minister who is appointed around 4 years back. Not even for US, you don't have a minister for AI, but you have AI minister in United Emirates, Arab Emirates, UAE. Maybe just check in the Google, you'll get that. So data pre-processor, data detective, data ethicist, data protector, data explorer, AI assisted technician, news bot editor, genetics yield consultant, data farmer, cyber security analyst, 3D print product designer, simulation software engineer, digital design engineer, data center technologist, GPU. So your CPU is no more, it's already dead. Now we call as a GPU. TensorFlow compiler engineer, quantum optics scientist. These 5 jobs are related to hardware, not specific to software. And facial recognition developer, data wrangler, data curator, data interpreter, data privacy editor, intelligent data miner. If you look at, we are talking heavily jobs related to data, right? Let me tell you, once you complete your graduations, once you get into a market, don't be an assumption that once you get into a job, you're going to write down big algorithms. No. In the reality, once you get into a job, in the reality, if you look at 80% of work is related to data pre-processing, and only the 20% is building a model, testing a model, building a solution. Can you believe 80% of work is related to data pre-processing? For example, you want to build a solution, autonomous driving solution for Hyderabad, right? So what you will do, first initially, you will have a normal car with a driver, attach a lidar, which essentially it is going to capture all the environment. So you have to drive that car in and around all the roads and streets in Hyderabad. It has to capture the pedestrians, the signals, all that. Once you get the data, do you think that you need to pre-process the data? You need to clean the data, you need to filter the data. That is called data pre-processing. See that. In autonomous driving technology itself, you got more than 20 plus new jobs. Autonomous vehicle engineer, vehicle trainer, hardware specialist, Cascadia test engineer, driving validation engineer, all this. We never heard this kind of a new jobs, right? In the past, thermal engineer, camera technology specialist, imaging specialist. See that. Now, similarly, when you talk about natural language processing, you got more than 10 plus new jobs. Can you believe there is a job for even Siri, watch OS engineer, Siri performance engineer, chatbot programmer, computational linguistics. Now, who are going to give you jobs? So let's talk about the startups who can hire you. So broadly, there are four types of startups who are going to give you jobs: robotic startups, autonomous vehicle driving startups, sensor AI startups, space intelligence startups. These are the startups I'm talking about. So in India, you have a lot of young, hungry startups like a Sastra, Grey Orange, Futura, Safe. So a lot of AI startups are there in India. So due to this pandemic, now even jobs are become virtual now. Apart from that, the big ironic companies, if you look at Siemens, Honeywell, IBM, big companies, right? And the third cluster, which is defense cluster, can you believe AI is very widely used in all our government defense clusters, whether you say HAL, sometime back we built a solution for HAL Nasik. There are around 20 plus Army, Navy, Air Force who are using AI for their solutions. And apart from that, the industrial venture capitalists. So these are the persons who are going to invest in this emerging startups. We got Axelar, we got Hive, Pi, Safe, Falconex. All these are the one of the biggest venture capitalists. And what are the job roles with the highest salaries? So machine learning, data scientist, computer vision, data warehouse architect, algorithm engineer. These are the few of the AI job titles. Now, what is the skills required to get AI job? So I'm sure everybody will have this question, right? So just try to take a screenshot, take a photo of this. So the programming language we use is heavily Python. Maybe in very rare cases we'll use R, but heavily it's Python. So you need to learn the clustering techniques, regression techniques, classification techniques. Again, when you classify machine learning is broadly classified into three techniques, which is supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. Under that, you will get all these techniques. Text mining, scoring, ensemble model building, model maintenance. In deep learning, you should be very familiar with CNN, which is convolutional neural networks, RNN, recurrent neural network, LSTM, long short-term memory, and computer vision, natural language processing. This, once you know the skill set, this is called full stack AI engineer, so that you can become full stack engineer. Maybe in somewhere, if you look at the requirement is only for the deep learning, but still you need to know machine learning as well, because the majority of the data pre-processing activities should be done using machine learning. Now, so let me tell you, there is a myth in the market. AI is for only computer science students or computer science professionals. No, AI is for all. Let me tell you. So key skills, one of the side, if you look at, we need mechanical, electrical, fluid dynamics, instrumentation people, all right? Similarly, this is your bunch, AI, ML, DL, and OT is a more security point of view. And what are the roles? AI product managers, subject matter experts, solution architects, instrumentation specialist, control system specialist, engineering data scientist, user experience designer, data architect, algorithm developer, security specialist, infrastructure specialist, and programmers. Here you will get one more, which is nothing but data pre-processors. Now, this is very important question. How do you get started? So you are here today, which you opted for BTech in AI and ML. And how is that AI enabled tomorrow? From here to here that leapfrog jump looks like. So you need to form a 6 to 8 members as a group to learn AI. Start with start learning the basics of Python, maybe to start with 20 foundational commands for 1 week. So you have to do a project using AI. Don't wait for your final year project. There is no limitation. Who is stopping you? Maybe I saw people who transformed from zero to hero at 90 to 180 days. I think 90 days to 180 days is a good time, 3 months to 6 months. So let's hope so 1 to 3 months you learn and then start implementing, taking some data. You need to apply one technique 1 week like that. Then one of the real life project you have to do is you need to pick a problem. What do you see which others don't see? There is seeing the unseen. Somewhere you need to solve some problem, right? There is no fun using technology without solving a problem. What is the problem you're trying to solve? That's why you need to answer this question. So just go back to this example. Sadhna sir saw that problem. Abu Khadar saw that problem, right? Now, once you are doing the project, parallelly, you need to create some kind of a repetition about your product, about your team. So that can be done in 3 ways. So keep your code as this is open source. There is nothing to hide. So you can create a repository, create your account in GitHub, and you need to put all your code in the GitHub so that automatically people will call you. Then start writing blogs in a Medium. Medium.com is one of the best website where very often practitioners used to write the blogs. Even you can see my name. You'll have a lot of blogs on my name here. So then you need to answer some of the questions, posted by people. So it's a more community. Stack Overflow or Quora. So nothing is a mistake. There is no win. There is no fail. There is only a make. Remember this. So always you have to integrate AI with your existing expertise. You'll have some kind of expertise. Don't say that I'm just a graduation student. I don't have expertise. So just step back, think of it. You need to add that expertise to your AI. So welcome to New Brave World. Just maybe you can search on my name, Mahesh Kumar CV in the Google. You'll see a lot of my interviews came in ETV. That's completely these are in Telugu. And instead of spending time in Facebook, I urge you to everyone, you should have an account in a LinkedIn and at least spend 30 minutes in LinkedIn. So just try to search my name, Mahesh Kumar CV, and then go to articles. You will see how to use AI in different industries. So AI uses in defense. These are the different use cases. Let me tell you, even 30 to 40% use cases are not even developed. The kind of use cases I written here. So here you are seeing probably a 10 blogs, but essentially you can see more than 50 blogs on my name in LinkedIn. So AI is a strategic game changer in the marketplace. AI explosion has begun. Already you guys are riding with us. So find your path. And very soon India will be leading the global AI race. So just you need to find your path. So whether to start your journey, you need to answer one question. What is that? First is whether you want to become a job seeker or a job creator. Then second, you need to identify the right problem. Then start building the solution. Thank you. Before taking a questions, I want you to just quickly see this video. We'll be ending 3 other videos so that I'll take all your questions at the end. You just see, robots are going to replace army. Let's see. Just try to spend some time in Boston Dynamics. So they are building a lot of new robots. Yeah, see this. This is again from Boston. Okay, in the beginning I said we started there is a center of excellency in the collaboration of orbit shifters in your campus. So this is as part of COE, AICOE. So there will be three key phases in this. One is learning. Second is doing prototyping for your problems. And third is scaling. So as for the first one, you'll have the trainings for students as well, faculty development programs and academic projects in AI. And then you'll have a hackathon. That's nothing but what we call is Codethon at a city level, Hyderabad level. Then in the phase two, we'll try to help you to create the prototypes and then prioritizing the feature scoring. And then you'll have a Codethon at a state level. And then three, so scaling and creating a good market strategy for your products. So we're taking them to the market, and we are going to have a India level hackathon. So the team who are going to help you apart from me is Dr. Srinivas Padmanabhani, who did his PhD in AI in 1999. Can you believe? I said 1999 from Alberta. He was the past Infosys research and R&D head. His BTech, MTech, both are from different IITs. And Prashant Polisetti, who is my partner, he's settled in US. Though he's from Hyderabad, he's very much settled in US for the last 12 years. And Ramesh Loganathan, the professor and innovation head of IIIT Hyderabad. Then we got Madhusudan Vijay from ASCAM Bangalore. Then we got Rajesh Rathi, who is now he's one of the board member for International Society of Automation. We call it as the ISC. And one of my good friend Raj Tiwari from US, and Shravya from US again, and Dr. Venu is from again Hyderabad. Dr. Anjanelu Pasla, who was a principal research scientist at Infosys. And apart from that, you got Nilima, CEO of Tara AI from Bengaluru, Narendra Polsetti, my colleague, Rishikesh, who is senior architect at Amazon, Vishwanath from Tech Architect, again US. We got Dr. Manpreet Singh, who is a former AICT director. Then we got Lav Kumar, who is a professor at BITS Villani, Hyderabad. Tamim, who is robotics lead from Bengaluru. Then Mahinder, we got from Hyderabad. Sometime back, even we did one of our flagship 2 days conference. We call it as the AI Fest, where even CMR was one of the institutional partner for that. We did already in this pandemic 2 AI Fest. So like these are the activities very often we used to cover as part of the COE. Maybe whenever if you get some time, just try to see this in our YouTube. I'm just pasting in the chat room here. Yeah, guys, you can see in the chat room now. You just take that so that you'll get link as well. It's a 2 days one. We got more than 30 speakers from different parts of the world. Even we got Bill Inman, who is known as a father of data warehousing. He also one of the guest keynote speaker for the day. So I request you, whenever you have some time, just go through that. And it's a very interesting sessions lined up. I just shared in the chat room. Okay, now it's your time. So shoot now. I'm happy to answer if you have any questions. Venkata Shiva Reddy. I am from Hyderabad, settled in Hyderabad, Telugu. Yes, of course. Nitya, In robotics also, the major of the programming, what you are doing, that sensing and responding, it's everything in AI. Of course, there is a other programming language people used to do for robotics, but those robots are not that much uh, humanoid robotics if you see. So heavily people are using AI. Okay, I'm stopping screen sharing that. Yeah. Oh, okay. A lot of questions. Okay. DRDO, yes, they're using AI. Very, they have some projects. Question from Rohan: data scientists have a role in AI sector. See, when you say data scientist, he is the person who is going to write the program, who is going to test everything, right? So very often, in a instead of deep learning engineer, machine learning engineer, we used to say data scientist. Srinivas, I already answered this question. Which languages to learn before learning Python? Not required. Python is a fun. Let me tell you, compared to any other programming language, Python is too easy. So directly you can start Python without any background of programming. You can learn Python. Tushar, is app developer a good option? Of course, app, not the traditional old one. Maybe now just search for Flutter, Flutter. In web developer point of view, if you are looking at, it's only Flutter. The other things are gone. Don't waste your time. Question from Venkat. So all are saying problem solving. What is mean by problem solving? Look, there is some problem somebody is experiencing. So we have to solve that problem. When we say, now take example of traffic constable. Whenever he's standing in that traffic morning to evening, when he is trying to caught the person who is not having driving license. So somehow using technology, when you have that video surveillance, you can take that by identifying the board, the vehicle number, you can track him, right? So we are solving the problem for the traffic constable like that. So there are certain problems in India. I have a huge problems. Whether you talk about a traffic, whether you talk about a climate, whether you talk about healthcare, in all the different industries, you have a huge problems. That's where you need to start the problem. When you are building a product, when you are building a solution, what you're trying to do at the end, you're trying to solve a problem. Sir, what are the basic things we need to start a startup? See, when you want to start a startup, that's what again, you need to have at least a 6 to 8 members team, and you should pick a right problem to solve. That would be your first milestone to start. Sir, if you learn only one language is sufficient. Python is a language, and you are going to learn a lot of techniques, machine learning techniques, deep learning techniques, computer vision, all that. After completion of 4 years with specialization AI, we get jobs in AI, or do we need to learn more? No, this is enough. What are the syllabus you have? Probably apart from that, you need to Just try to focus on the projects. Do as much as. Don't just wait for your final year project or something. Suggest some free website of free coding. Free coding. A lot of websites are there. Code.org. Maybe just see that. That is enough. You have a lot of courses are there inside. Arun, will AI rule us? No, because at the end of the day, decision making is always with a human, right? So it's not.
Charging.
See, in online, you will see a lot of websites are there. Python course free, even last year. Sir, what is the minimum investment for a startup? See, ideally, to start a startup, apart from you, you need a certain team, right? So, depend upon the problem statement, that would be decide. We it's all depend upon your problem statement. With define, what is the team size you required, and when is that ROI you're going to get, whether you're going to get in 1.5 year or 2 years minimum, and then when you are going to get your revenue. See, let me tell you honestly, we started this RO shifters 2 years back. First 1 year, for the product sake, you don't get money immediately. So one of the customer we got is after 1 year. When we are building 1 year for product, we never get a customer for the product. But for services point of view, before registering the company itself, we got the customer. That customers you will get from services point of view. But for product wise, it will take a lot of time. Mano Patel, I'll answer this question. Data scientist, the skill set you required. Okay, a lot of questions are again, which he already answered. Still, it is repeating. Mr. What is the language used in hacking? I'm not sure. I'm not expert for hacking. Kirti, I'm not that much comfortable with hacking. Is detecting IP address of a TOR is possible in coming days? I want to do it. It's already now. Also, you can detect any of the person IP, right? See, to get an internship in any company, no need to complete your graduation. Before graduation itself, even we have a lot of people who are students who are working with us as interns, who are studying second. Even there are few people who are studying first year BTech also with us, but they are pretty familiar with the AI. They're pretty strong in deep learning because we used to work. Our product more is into sports, which is into video analytics. So you need to know deep learning very heavily, like especially the three convolutional neural networks, ML. convolutional neural networks, and RNN and LSTM. And on the other side, you need computer vision. Very closely, we are working with the Olympics on especially 4 combat sports, which is one is the boxing, one is taekwondo, the other one is fencing, and wrestling. These 4 games we are working closely with the Olympics. See, at the end of the day, if you look at the concepts wise, it's all data science. Under that, the stream is AI. How a speed gun works with AI. See, there is a sensor. When you talk about a sense to attach it to that gun, you can track all the insights, whatever you want to know. There is a question from last year. Will CSM students have advantage for startups compared to the CSE? What do you mean by CSM students? CSE is a computer science. CSM meaning?
Sir, CSM means artificial intelligence and machine learning students.
Okay. See, last year technically maybe you guys learned when you compare to the traditional computer science students. Yes, of course there is an advantage for you from a technical prospect of uh, technical prospect. But it is very important that again the basic is what is the problem you are trying to solve? Is the problem which you identified is the right problem? So maybe very soon, just we started today, we'll have some kind of ideation sessions. Maybe I'll talk to your Shujan sir as well. We'll plan. There are certain things are planned for you. Yes, Venkat, is Python our future or any upcoming programming language? See, down the line, at least 5 to 8 years minimum, Python will be the programming language. Maybe after that, it will be, I think it will take at least 10 years. After that, Python will be replaced with other programming language called, uh, there is a programming language. I forgot that name. Julia. Julia is the programming language. Not now, don't worry. It will take at least 10 years. Julia. Yeah, as I promised, 90 minutes. So we are already crossed at 10 minutes. Yeah, Vara, we are going to wind up. Uh, Thanks, guys. Thanks for the invite, especially Sujan sir, and CMR management as well, and especially Vara as well. Yeah, Vara, thank you. We
Sir,
are good to wind up now.
thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So hope we have lot of question and answers round was continuously going on, and you were telling, and people were also asking continuously. So this session continues the total day if we continue. So we'll have a some other day session, and anyway you will be coming to CMR Technical Campus, and we'll have a nice discussion in the future also. Since these are the first year students, sir, they are little bit anxious because they don't know what is their branch. Artificial intelligence is having boom, so I joined in artificial intelligence. Data science is having boom, so I joined in data science. So they are in a dilemma that what is the difference between my normal CSC and these people. So how many times, how many doubts we clear also. They are asking this question for every guest that come to this session.
Guys, in the beginning itself, I told you, you took a right decision by opting for BTech in AI and ML. So no doubt on that. So future will be, it's completely AI. Traditional technologies are gone completely. You talk about Java, .NET, those are gone completely. So everything what you talk, is future is AI. There is no doubt.
Yeah. So and the data scientist people also, these are all a little bit interested and they join in data science also.
Perfect.
Yeah. So thank you, sir. Thank you for joining with us with the CMR Technical Campus. The main thing is thank you for your patience, sir, for answering patiently each and every question you are reading chat box. So the best thing you are having is the patience. Thank
No,
you very
I love to prefer the session in person rather than this virtual, but due to the circumstances, now we need
yeah.
to. Guys, one thing remember, students especially, you have to adapt SMS. That means in this pandemic, it's not gone, still it's there. So you need to adapt this SMS. S as a sanitizing your hands always, M as a mask, and yes as a social distancing. So always do not forget this SMS. So all the best. Very
Yes.
soon again we will meet.
Sir,
That's it
thank
for
you.
now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mahesh, sir. Thank you very much. Bye, sir. Take care, sir. So, guys, that's the end of the session for today. We have tied up with the memorandum of understanding MOU tied up with a company called as Orbit Shifters. So now we have spoke with that person. So you will be having some other trainings from tomorrow, some other sessions. Don't worry. What are all the companies that are coming to the college? You will be having a separate session on the training and placement also. So don't worry. Hope you are all enjoying the sessions. I mean, enjoying means you are getting a good knowledge, whatever the sessions we are trying to bring. Only one thing I request to all of you people is remember one thing, ma, we are bringing all the speakers or the guests, those who are speaking here, those are motivating you with a lot of hurdles, with a lot of problems, with a lot of requests, with a lot of gathering, okay, with a lot of circle search చేసి వాళ్ళందరిని ఐడెంటిఫై చేసి ఎవరిని తీసుకురావాలో వాళ్ళని తీసుకొని వస్తుంది. So this is not a just a simple thing like you're disturbing in some other sessions, disturbing or unnecessarily messaging something or whatever it may be. There is a lot of struggle background. వాళ్ళు డైరెక్ట్ గా మీ ముందుకు వచ్చి జాయిన్ కావటం ఒక్కటే మీకు తెలుసు, బట్ గెట్టింగ్ దెమ్ అండ్ మేకింగ్ యూ టు ఇంటరాక్ట్ విత్ దెమ్ ఈజ్ నాట్ ఏ సింపుల్ ఇష్యూ. ఓకే, ఎంత బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ లో ఎంత వర్క్ చేయాలి అనేది ద డిపార్ట్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ సిఎస్సి ఈస్ టేకింగ్ కేర్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్, నాట్ ఓన్లీ మై సెల్ఫ్ ఇంక్లూడింగ్ ద హెచ్ఓడి అండ్ మెనీ ప్రొఫెసర్స్ అండ్ ఫ్యాకల్టీ. సో ఐ రిక్వెస్ట్, please don't to disturb not my session in the afternoon session or in the morning session. Please don't to disturb any session. Okay, if you are not interested, please leave the chat, please leave the session and come out of the session, but try to make interest. See, virtual lo meeku best thing cheyadaniki mem chustunnam. Okay, so hope you guys understand and support our campus and our department. So all the best. Take care. Stay home. Stay safe. Bye, guys.